Looking at one-to-one, it's a relationship attribute and can be migrated to one of the particular entity types. Now, this is for a look at attributes of relationship types. Previously, we've looked at many-to-many. So now we're going to look at one-to-one. It's a little bit different. So again, a relationship attribute can be migrated to one of the participating entity types. So we have our relationship here, it's manages. We have our attribute, manager, start date, and they can be shifted to either employee or department. Now, there is some things to look out for here though. So we have our entity, we have our manages, and then we have the department, each with their own keys and attributes. And then we have our manager start date. So my thought, the easiest thing here is to just tie it with manages, right? Just tie it with the relationship. Because when the employee manages this department, they're going to have a start date. And this department has total participation, which is this double line right here. So that means that for this employee managing this, our department has to have a manager. So our employee doesn't have to manage the department, but department has to have a manager. That's what their total participation is. And we can change this manager start date to be either with the employee or with manages or with the department. Manages with the relationship would be kind of the best for this, but if we were to tie it with the employee, if we do it like this, well, if the employee has no start date, or if the employee doesn't manage this department, so that's just a little bit incorrect. If the employee doesn't manage a department, well, we're going to use a null value to represent this. It's not the best design because we have a null value. So let's say we have employees E1, E2, E3, and E4. So their start dates are going to be like D1, E2 in employee 3, they don't have dates, so those are going to be null, but E4 has a date. So this is like storage or mapping, where we could store this, but we don't want these null values, so it's not best to have this. We can look at this next one, which is 3 for the department. Well, if we link it with the department, it'll be okay, because of this total participation. If you want to assign any kind of attribute that should go with the relationship, you can assign it to an entity that has the total participation, rather than just one with as an entity by itself with partial participation. So we can see the start date works out fine, just as it would with our manages. And those are the different ways we would look at our one-to-one ratio and how we would do it. Next, we're going to look at one-to-many. It's a relationship attribute and can be migrated only to the entity type on the end side.